Oh, hi. I don't have a job interview, don't worry. This is something different because with this little epidemic going on, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. So, roll the intro and play the next part. You'll enjoy it. Hello everyone, my name is Jamie Hughes and welcome into Airbnb. It's another beautiful day here in, well, central New York, in the small town of Oneida, New York. It is now, well, bringing back this little parody of the Very Late Show in which, after watching a special video sent out by Stephen Colbert from his bathtub in The Lather Show, it had me thinking because, well, there were some things in which he said in which I support him dealing with. And I know this is something that is going to be continuing on with for the next month or so as we see this epidemic of coronavirus continuing throughout the great nation of the United States. But something in which came into mind because a lot of people, as it was basically seen recently in the state of New York, that a lot of businesses are now being closed down for the next 2 weeks and maybe more as this epidemic is going on here in New York. Casinos, there are businesses in which have closed down, restaurants in which are only limiting themselves with only drive-through, pickup or delivery orders, and, well, many stores are affected by this. However, it is still said that it's been stated that supermarkets and retail stores, so you've got places like Walmart, Price Chopper, and even the small stores as well, such as Dollar Tree stores, are still running their business at recently scheduled hours. And it basically asks me the biggest questions there, because some people don't work full-time, they actually work part-time. It's something in which is kind of a bit of a worry, because right now we see not only myself but many other people working in supermarkets and in retail who are risking themselves going into these stores to help customers out with pay, and they are handling with money, they are handling products, and they are face to face, very close to customers as well, in which basically asks the question to not only the governors but also as well to the main higher ups in the corporations who are basically sitting there thinking that they are safe from this coronavirus, is what are we getting out of this? That is the big question there, because we are seeing more people then. Like I said, we're at risk of being exposed to this virus, and a lot of people may not have other jobs. People who work part-time, like myself, we don't have that benefit to stay home because this could be our only source of income, in which, fair enough, you try and find another job somewhere else and they're not really hiring, You go to university, you go to college to try and get yourself an education, but when you go and find yourself a job, they turn around and say the following, that you are overqualified. I mean, here's the thing with me, I am a bachelor's degree student. I have a BA Honours in Performing Arts. When I was trying to look for a job back in Wales, I was advised by my careers advisor to basically take off the bachelor's degree from my resume, because a lot of companies are not going to hire me because they would see that as overqualified and they would think that I would demand more pay. Yes, because having a bachelor's degree in performing arts and being told you're overqualified to scrub the toilet, you think I'm going to make it into a big fucking musical number. But knowing me, I would. I was quite lucky when I have a job here in the New York State. Right now I'm working part-time with the retail store, and they don't see my bachelor's degree in performing arts as an overqualification. It actually does help, because right now the one thing in which people are worried about is this epidemic. But the one thing I do in my job in work, I help customers out, but not only do I do that, but also as well I entertain the customers that come in. I try to make sure that each customer that comes through my line, you know, has a good day. Not only good customer service, but also as well they leave with a positive attitude and a smile on their face. Because right now when I go into work these days, I am basically cacking myself because, well, again, I could be exposed. Yes, I am scrubbing my hands, I'm using hand sanitizer, but I'm seeing customers that come through my line that are basically buying everything in bulk, in which, for me, in which my paycheck's not really that great, has to try and struggle to see what I can get from the stores when everything is being picked clean. I mean, as you saw yesterday, that I did end up doing a spaghetti bolognese meal with, well, pasta, in which for 2 boxes were $1 each. And basically what they had left in one of the stores was Italian sausage patties. And I'll tell you something now, I still have leftovers, and that stuff is really good to have. It's fantastic. I like it to bits. So, you know, all under $20. I usually get ground beef, but again, everyone is panic buying in because they think this is doomsday. It's not doomsday, you just gotta play it safe. You know, a lot of people, like I said, they have the privilege and the opportunity to self-quarantine themselves. I don't. I gotta risk myself out there as well as many other people. So that goes back to my original question, is basically, are the corporations for all supermarkets going to be looking to come together and think, well, should we compensate them? Because they're basically putting themselves on the line to dealing with this epidemic. Something has to be done with that one right there. I mean, I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and for both him and my partner, because they work in the same company, they've been told that their business, which is a casino, is now closed down for the next 2 weeks. So a lot of people are being left without going into work, but they are being given 2 weeks paid time off to help. So at least they can see this epidemic go through, and at least then the employees are satisfied with something in which they're going to get themselves a full decent pay. We're putting ourselves at risk. We're scrubbing our hands. We're dealing with customers face to face. I've seen customers in which they handle money, in which they get it from their pocket. They already have it in their hand, in which sometimes I'm seeing them scratching their face. And I've seen some customers as well, and don't deny it, you've seen customers as well, guys out there, in which they go in their shirt, they rummage around in their bra, and they pull out the booby money. It's kind of disturbing, but also at the same time, in this day and age, kind of disgusting. Don't do that. It's not nice. So that's kind of the question there. And I know that one of my friends was saying, oh, you know what's going to happen? Most probably, they're going to turn around at the end of all this. They're going to say, oh, well done. Here's a pat on the back. Here's a pizza party. And I will be honest when I say this now, ladies and gentlemen. I will. I'm going to take a little bit of this off. That's fine. But I'm going to be honest when I say this. If it ever comes to that part where the company basically turns around and says, listen, you've done a fantastic job, you fought through this epidemic, basically, here's a pizza party, bon appetit, then I will say this now, hand on heart, I will be happy if I haven't got a new job by then. I will hand in my 2 weeks notice and I will walk out of that job. Because no one is deserving of that, like a pizza party, when so many people are risking themselves during this epidemic. You know, we don't deserve a pizza party, we deserve something more. Pay raise would be fantastic to have. That's the one thing that could help us out, because we're at risk. Hours may be cut because, again, we may not have hours from the corporations. They're not going to give us the hours. But we have to pull ourselves together and try and get into work and deal with this epidemic. So much can happen. We're at risk. Most people going to work, they're not going to be offered health insurance just in case it comes to a point now where they need to get tested for this virus. Myself, you know, with my job, I do not get health insurance. So if I was to walk into a hospital right now and ask for a nice selection of screenings for coronavirus, I know I'm going to be walking out of there with a hefty bill in which I'm going to have to pay. And honestly, I'm going to be most probably paying off in chunks with majority of my paychecks if it ever came to that. it could happen, you know. That's why a lot of people are saying now, if you are going to go out, don't go out for too long. Self-quarantine yourself. You know, separation quarantine is a perfect thing to have. You know, we can fight this virus. That's the main thing here. We can fight this virus. We can take it down. But if we're all still coming out in bulk, if we're all still panic buying, and there's dozens of people coming into stores to buy, then we are at more risk there, because you're in a closed space. You are basically standing next to each other, very, very close. And it is a nightmare to have. It really is. So I agree with Mr. Colbert and with basically on what other people have been doing, and that is basically staying at home, quarantining themselves as much as they can, but if you need to go out, make sure it's going out for either emergencies or it's just to basically just get some of the essentials. Don't stay out for too long. That is the main thing there. See, that's just me. That's the worrying thing about it. Because, again, with my job, I have nowhere else to go. I was talking with my old colleague that worked at the casino just last week, having a phone interview to see about getting a job back at the casino. And they said they would call up human resources, they would see about getting a process to see where we can go from there. Right now, I am just basically sitting in the wings, waiting for a call back. Oh, I may have to email to see what's going on, because right now, that business is closed until further notice because of this virus. They have to close it down. So I'm still working in that store, dealing with this epidemic. Still helping out customers. But if anything else I can walk away from this, I will say this right now. To all of the people that work in retail, to all the people that work in supermarkets, but especially, this is the big one, especially to everyone that works in a hospital right now, that is helping out all the patients within the hospital, whether it be nurses, doctors, receptionists, technicians, everyone that is in a hospital right now and that is close, very close to this epidemic that's going on right now. You guys out there, you have the biggest respect from me ever. You guys rock. Every time I see a nurse or a doctor or someone coming into my store and they come up to my desk, I thank them from the bottom of my heart, because they are basically now at the front lines. They are dealing with this going on, and they are the ones that have to go working several hours or more to help patients, to make sure that they are okay, that this doesn't spread, that we keep the numbers low. They are the ones and deserve the biggest respect. So when this dies down, the next time you go into a hospital and you go to get yourself checked out, or you see someone that works from a hospital coming into your store, you give them the biggest thanks. You give them the biggest respect that you can give them. I mean, if it was up to me, every nurse and stuff, if I had that power, I would most probably give them a 10% discount on all of their purchases from me. Because they are working their hardest, they are working the extra hours to help make sure that this country is kept healthy. But the fight's not over. There's still more to happen within this country, there is still more to happen, and it's going to take some time for this country to mend after this epidemic. All we can do is just stand together side by side as much as we can. Keep ourselves quarantined, keep everyone that we know and everyone that we love safe and healthy. Know what to do, use your common sense, but for all else, guys, because hand sanitizers can only go so far. Remember, as always, to please wash your hands. That is the main thing I can walk away with here. So please take care of yourself, guys. You are all amazing. You are all fantastic. And that's my show tonight. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic evening, and as always, stay healthy, stay clean, and wash your hands. Good night, folks.